Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all give me a second. Okay. All right. How y'all doing this evening, man? Y'all know who this is. This is your boy Rob Thomas Jr. And this is the real news behind the news. Yeah, today is what, Sunday, February 21st, 2020. And the snow is finally melting, y'all. All the snow and ice that we've had here in Louisiana, Texas, and other places is finally melting, which is a good thing. We talked quite a bit about that the other day. How in Texas the infrastructure pretty much collapsed due to the lack, to the neglect and lack of diligence by the elected officials in that state. Here in Shreveport, we still dealing with the lack of water. This is about our fifth day without water, which is kind of irritating, especially for sanitary reasons. It's hard to take a good bath. You got to put buckets outside to get ice just to melt, to boil the water to drink. But things are getting better here in Shreveport. Ice is pretty much melted on the streets. Travel is a lot better. Again, we still dealing with water issues here in Shreveport. I don't know what the latest is on the power here, but at one point you had almost 15 some thousand people here without power. From what we understand in Texas, it's still kind of bad. Anybody from Texas that's listening or watching, let us know what your water situation is like out there in Texas. But today we just gonna have a general conversation, to maintain our consistency and relevance. If you all have anything that you all want to talk about, please feel free to comment. As you come in to the show, please hit that like button. We really need all the people that watching to like. That helps us with the algorithms to help us get more people in to watch the show. Um, it's kind of crazy. Normally on Sundays we talk about theology. We try to come together and find common talking point. Find talking points to show the commonality in religious ideology. And my whole objective is to get people to think about religion itself. Religion itself is basically a form of it's an ideology, I believe, that is used to control the masses. Um, when you stop and think about it, especially when you look at the main three religions, Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, all three of those religions come from ancient Samaritan religions and religions of Mesopotamia. All those stories that you read in your Bible, your Quran, or your Torah were taken from stories. What the heck was that, little boy? Zozo, Zozo, cut it out, girl. It's a puppy, y'all, man, and that is bad because we got to try to get food for them. The stores are finally opened up here, but I just spent so much money, the little money that I had over the last few days at this one store, that only store that was open. Man, they made a killing. They raised a lot of their prices, man, and a lot of us paid the price. So if y'all can, please hit the Cash App, or the it's down there at the bottom. The Cash App is down there, or PayPal. Support the channel because we need a USB cable also to basically tether our phone into the computer, where we can run the computer on the internet. Because right now the place that I'm staying does not have access to the internet. So my puppy bit through my USB cable, so now I'm unable to do my stories like I normally do. You remember how I was running down the computer and giving you all the headlines? Well, that's kind of hard to do right now. Well, it's basically impossible to do right now. I really need to shave, man. They need to do something about this water. So y'all join us. Let's talk about religion for a little bit, and then we'll go down the best we can down some of the headlines. Now, going back to religion, religion ideology is basically used to control the masses, to keep the population subdued and sedated, with basically by threatening you, basically telling you that God says if you don't do what He wants you to do, He's going to punish you by sending you to hell. What kind of God is that? You know, that basically demands, I mean, he puts the temptations in front of you, then tells you if you succumb to the temptations, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. That's not a loving God. You know, from what I believe, that we're all a part of God. There's only one consciousness in the universe, and we're all in tune with that consciousness through our spirit. Think about this. How do you pray to God and get your prayers answered if you don't believe in telepathy? You have to believe in telepathy, even to believe in prayers, because you pray down here on earth and you're expecting someone way up in heaven or some being up in heaven to answer your prayers. So when you look at the major religions, they would try to tell you that telepathy and all that is evil. But again, in order to reach God, you have to talk to Him through a telepathic means. You know, so religion basically is basically a tool again to enslave the masses mentally by holding threats of fear over them. Now, I would like to talk a little bit today about, is there only one God? And where did that one God concept come from? Now, if you go back out through history, all throughout ancient history and even modern history, we all look to the sky for God, as where God lives. You know, when you go back and look at the earliest writings and drawings that mankind produced, they were always looking up to multiple beings. Now, not just one being, but multiple beings in the heavens. Now, the three main religions would have you to believe that there's only one God. But when you look at historical facts, there's always been a multiple God concept. Now, we talked about this earlier, and in my belief, I believe that there were beings that came to Earth from the outer regions of the solar system, the galaxy, or wherever. But these intelligent beings came to the Earth and mixed their genetics, their DNA, with those beings that were all those primitive, I guess you could say, Homo sapiens or the Neanderthal people. They combined their DNA with these people, and this is how you get modern humans. You know, that sounds crazy, but look how we're cloning stuff right now in modern day times as human beings. We're cloning animals. We're making new species ourselves. So why does that sound impossible? And if you stop and think about it, again, we go back to Genesis chapter 6, when it says, and the sons of God looked down on the daughters of men and saw that they were beautiful. And they went down and took wives for themselves from amongst them. That means multiple beings came from the heavens, you all. When it said, let us create the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, and all that is in basically in the whole first few chapters of Genesis. They was talking in a plural, in a form of a plurality. They wasn't saying God would the God of the Bible didn't say, let me go down and create. He say, let us. So we have been taught a concept in modern times of a monotheistic God who sits in heaven by himself with all these people worshiping him, or all these other beings worshiping him. But throughout ancient history, that was not so. You know, again, as you all come in, man, please leave your comments, join into this conversation. You know, I really need to talk to somebody, man, because it's been a very, very depressing and I guess you could say climax hectic last 5 days, man. We've been stuck in the house, man, and now that the snow is melting, you know, we have to deal with the repercussions again. Um, it's been crazy how an ice storm could shut down an entire state, two states, especially Louisiana and Texas. Now we're seeing that they're having some of the same problems in Mississippi with the water. And right now, man, we definitely need water here. I mean, we have no drinking water at all. It's crazy. As far as food, all the shelves are pretty much empty. They finally opened up the Family Dollar yesterday down the street. 3 days too late. Now that I've spent every penny that I had, they finally opened the Family Dollar. You know, it's also crazy how in a time of crisis like this, people take advantage of it by increasing the prices. You know, I mean, again, I'm gonna just be real. Somebody blessed us with $25 about 2 days ago. Do you all realize just to get a meal for me and a small bag of dog food for my 3 dogs was almost $20? Literally. Now we're sitting here. My puppies are looking crazy because I have nothing to feed them. You know, I'm not the only person going through this. There's thousands of people right now who are basically destitute, no water, no food. Again, they're finally getting their electricity restored, but it's crazy, you all. But so, I mean, I really need you all's contact. I need you all's conversation, really, to help me get out this state of mind that I am. Because I ain't gonna tell you no lie, I'm somewhat depressed right now. You know, it's kind of crazy. And then at the same time, my time in this room, I haven't been able to get out to try to make any money. I haven't been able to try to make any money, and my room is about to expire tomorrow. I got to come up with $200, man, just to keep this room, just to keep a place for my puppies and I to go. So, I mean, I know a lot of people have more serious problems than I do, but to me, this is a very serious problem. I mean, I'm hungry. My puppies are hungry. We have no water. I haven't been able to shave. Barely have been able to keep myself sanitized because, again, we have to go outside and pull up the ice and the snow from the ground, melt it, just to keep clean, just to keep sanitized. So there's a lot of residual effects from this ice storm that people are going to be feeling for the next few days. You know, so as you all come in, please hit the like button and join in the conversation with me. Talk to me, y'all. Let me know that y'all out there. Let me know that y'all hear me. Give me some kind of human response, you know. But we were talking about the concept of God, which is on Sundays we normally do. Now, we're not going to talk about that too long because we want to talk about other things. Like we want to talk about the stimulus package. In the stimulus package that Biden is putting forward, the one thing that pretty much is going to cause the most contention in this stimulus package is the push to create a $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, I'm all for a livable wage because we know here in Louisiana the minimum wage is $7.25. There's no way in the world a person can really take care of himself basically on $7.25 an hour. And then especially with the way that they're cutting people's hours. And then when you look at how COVID is affecting a lot of jobs, whereas people are limited as to when, where, and how long they can work. Now, if you raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, do you know what's going to happen? That's going to kill the small business, the mom and pop stores. You're going to see them going out of business. I'm talking about left and right, because they're not going to be able to afford to pay their employees $15 an hour. If you got a small mom and pop store that's barely making it, and they got 6 employees that they're employing, they're gonna have to probably let 3 of those employees go just to comply with the $15 an hour minimum wage. Now, you know who benefits from the $15 an hour minimum wage? Your big corporations. They're the ones who are going to benefit, because in most cases they'll have the access and the means to pay the $15 an hour. And while what's going to happen again, you're going to see the small companies shut down, and you're going to see the major corporations thrive. And that's basically what your politicians are aiming for. Believe it or not, again, I always say this: your politicians do not work for us. You live in what's called a fascist dictatorship, whereas your government basically is ran by the corporation. The corporations go in and they send their lobbyists. They pay so many millions of dollars a year to lobbyists to go in and basically coerce your politicians, your state representatives, your national, your federal representatives. They coerce them to write laws that benefit the corporation. You see, think about it. If you got like the store around the corner that basically took all our money doing this store. If they raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, those 2 people that he has working for him are going to have to basically be laid off or fired. He is basically going to have to shut his store down, which now forces everybody to Walmart, to Costco, to Target. So a $15 an hour minimum wage sounds good, but it also, at the same time, is a bad thing, because it's going to basically drive out the small businesses that really makes your community thrive. Think about it. It's not Walmart or Costco or one of these Lowe's or Home Depot that keeps your neighborhood going. True, they employ people, but it's your local businesses that keeps your neighborhoods going and keeps your neighborhoods thriving. Now, what happens in the Black community is they're able to create what's called deserts, certain type of deserts. Like in our neighborhoods, you very seldom see banking institutions. They call it banking deserts. You see what I'm saying? You very seldom see grocery stores inside the Black community. You have to go outside your community to get to a grocery store. Those are called food deserts. And with the increase in minimum wage, you're going to see more and more quote unquote deserts, institutional type deserts in your neighborhoods. You're draining all the life out of the local neighborhood, and all that money is being siphoned in to the major corporations and their shareholders, their CEOs. That's where all your money is going to go. That's who's really going to benefit and profit from a $15 an hour minimum wage. And again, that's one of the main points in the new stimulus package that's going to cause a delay in them voting on it. Now, they're saying that they want to have this passed through the House of Representatives by the end of this week, which would be a good thing. Really, they can have it passed a lot sooner if they just stop all the partisan bickering, if they stop fighting along party lines and look at what's best for the average person. They should have been had this stimulus package done. Now, on top of COVID-19, you have this storm. They call this a once in 100-year storm. Y'all give me a second. Let me catch this. Let me catch. I hear somebody out here. I need to see. Just 1 second. Please, if y'all here, man, please hit that like button and share this video as we're going live so that we can get more people in. Also, please, there's a couple of needs that we really have. At the bottom, you can see where we have the Cash App and the PayPal. Please make a donation. Because again, those puppies over there looking at me like this motherfucker here is tardy with the food. Y'all give me 1 second. Hey, come. All right. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, I gotta get him some food, man. But I'll let y'all have it. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. Yeah, sorry about that. That was one of the neighbors over here. I asked him for a cigarette earlier, and he came through. He was about to knock on the door. I heard his footsteps. But anyway, now this storm is going to cause a lot of more problems because again, now to add to the lack of water, people are without food. Grocery store shelves here in Shreveport are empty. And now the grocery stores are opening up. There's no food to buy. I mean, it's crazy. When I do come up on some money, I got to figure out. I mean, I'm gonna have to find somewhere first and foremost where I can get some bread. There's no bread. I went down to Family Dollar yesterday with $2, man. Well, $2 to try to get some bread. Well, at least I got a couple of pieces of cheese that's about to melt because again we have no refrigeration, and they have no bread at all. All the water is gone. All your basic staples are gone. So it's going to be hectic. So that puts more emphasis on Congress to get something done for a stimulus. Now they could have had this stimulus thing already ironed out, but again, as we talked in the last video, they spent all their time on the impeachment trial of Donald Trump, and basically wasted all their time when the American people are suffering. You got to stop and think about it. From what I'm understanding, all those people that are on unemployment, that's scheduled to run out in about 3-4 weeks from now. So they got a lot of motivation to get this passed. If they really wanted to, they could pass that shit overnight. You let one of these major corporations come in and say, we need $15 billion to keep our company going for a couple of months. The House of Representatives and Congress will come together and overnight pass legislation to give one of these major corporations $15 billion. But we as American people got to sit and hope and pray that they'll give us a $1,400 stimulus check. How many of y'all could really use $1,400 right now? Hell, I would literally go out and shovel snow. I would pick up dog shit right now with tweezers for $14 just to get my puppies something to eat. But they are hungry, y'all. And I'm struggling hard enough by myself. And I'm taking on three puppies, man. 3 pets. That's really causing me a lot of stress because it would be so easy if it was just me. Hell, I'm hungry. I can get out, man, and walk maybe to somebody's house who can give me a sandwich. But who's gonna help me feed 3 puppies? All the work right now that I could do has been put on hold because of the weather. I got to come up again with $200-something by in the morning. I don't know how that's going to happen just to have a place to stay for 1 more week. It's costing me $200-something a week to stay in this hotel. This is crazy. And it's nobody's fault but mine for loving these puppies so much. But what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go throw them into an animal shelter now just because I can't take care of them? That would seem like the logical thing to do. But if you couldn't take care of your kids, if you were facing some of the temporary difficulties that I'm facing, because I call it temporary, I'll be back on my feet in a matter of time, y'all. It's just, it's just one of those points in my life where I have to reevaluate everything and everyone around me and make wise decisions that's going to put me back on in another home within the next month or so. I will be back in a home within a month or so, but right now, I'm just saying, I'm just gonna be real. I'm partly a victim of this COVID crisis because all my work, I do a lot of home remodeling and stuff like that. And due to COVID, a lot of that shit shut down for me, a private individual contractor. Whereas the major contracting companies around here, they're still able to get a lot of these commercial contracts, a lot of these city and state contracts. Or they're able to get into some of the rich people home and do, residential contracting. But for somebody like me, man, I have to get out here and struggle. It's been reduced to the point where I've been having to rake yards and anything that I can do legitimately to support myself. That's what I've been doing. But COVID has forced a lot of people, excuse me, not just myself, into this situation. You know, I do believe a lot of this COVID stuff is being hyped up too, you know, for other nefarious means from government, like this vaccination. Let's talk about the vaccination for a moment. Do you all know that even Pfizer and the other vaccination manufacturers are saying, even though you take this vaccination, you still have a chance. It's still likely that it is still likely that you still can contract COVID-19. Yes, this vaccination basically is nothing more than a push by certain members of government who are heavily financed by the pharmaceutical companies to help the pharmaceutical companies make money. They're the only ones that's profiting. They're putting an untested and a really untested product on the market and basically trying to find ways to make it mandatory for you to take this vaccination. And with every dose that is being administered, the pharmaceutical companies make millions. They make money with every dose that is being administered. You know, it's right now what they say, they got 15 million doses already administered. And just think, if I don't know what the price of some, I don't know if I could be wrong, but I'm hearing it's like $1,000 per dose. And you got to take 2 doses allegedly for it to work. So that's $2,000 times 15 million already. There's 300 million people in America, and they're trying to find a way to force every last person in America to take this vaccination, which again, they're saying, even if you take the vaccination, there's no guarantee that you will not contract COVID-19. So we live in a corrupt time, y'all, very corrupt, very, very unstable time. Whereas something as simple, something as an ice storm could shut down 2 entire states and cause all this type of havoc. My question is, whatever happened to global warming? Or now they call it climate change. They took it from global warming because really, when you look at the data, quite a few scientists are saying that they no longer believe that the earth is warming because of man-made fossil fuels and carbon footprints or whatever. They're saying that the earth is actually cooling. But global warming is a way to basically push other forms of energy like green energy, which is what happened in Texas. The push for green energy in Texas led to them becoming less and less dependent on coal, oil, and fossil fuels to solar panels and windmills. And when this storm hit, your solar panels got covered in snow and ice, and your windmills froze up, which left a good portion of your power grid vulnerable, which damn near caused the whole power grid in the state of Texas to fail, which is why you have 15 million people that didn't have power in Texas. People died in Texas. There's one story where an 11-year-old boy froze to death died of hypothermia in his bed, and at the same time, while the people in Texas was freezing and going through this cold storm without electricity, no running water and food, your representative Ted Cruz. And this is how cold he is, y'all. This is how cold-blooded Ted Cruz was. He blamed it on his daughters. Did you see that interview where he came and he say, well, hold on a second. He was basically like, if you had the means and your daughters say, well, it's cold, Dad, let's go somewhere. And in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it. But if you had the means and your children are saying that they're cold, wouldn't you go? No, you're supposed to be right there, Mr. Cruz. Going through this with your constituents. And it takes a piece of crap of a man, a so-called man, to blame something like that on his children. These are the kind of people that we have as leaders. People who, if he could have got away with it, Ted Cruz would still be in Cancun right now if he would have never got busted. Whoever blew the whistle on him or reported, they need to get a Medal of Honor, because again, that shows you the detachment from reality, the elitist attitude of our politicians. Here we are sitting here struggling, man, homeless, hungry, and in need of heat. And he flies to Cancun and he blames his little daughters, little children, for his decision making. Well, if that's the case, Mr. Cruz, you don't need to be a politician. You don't need to be an elected official, because you don't have the best interest of your constituents in mind. And those of you all in Texas, you all need to not only uh, get a petition going to recall him, but you all need to be out there as soon as the weather allows, in front of his house, demanding that he resign. Because again, that's the height of hypocrisy for him to leave you all freezing and him and his daughters take a trip to Cancun. Now here, we can't see, since we're doing this through StreamYard, we can't see how many people have liked this video. We know that we have a lag in the broadcast. Right now we see that there's 8 people. I'm hoping that there's 8 likes and 8 shares of this video. But please, if you all watching, hit the like button and share. Also, we had another person, a good a long time subscriber and supporter of the channel, said that she is not getting notification. Please, if you subscribe to the channel, make sure that you hit the bell so that every time we do a video, you'll get a notification. And again, part of the problem is we don't have a specific time to do our videos. Like today, we just did this video. Really, I just did this video because I needed to talk. I needed to just, you know, have some kind of distraction from what I'm going through. And the best way for me to do that is to talk to y'all. Also, I'd like to thank the 5 new subscribers. We're up to 1,240 or 1,340 subscribers now. Our numbers are getting up there, slowly but surely. We're getting up there. Hopefully, we're getting enough watch hours where soon we'll be able to start getting our channel monetized through YouTube. But in order to make any real money, you know, you have to have damn near, you know what I'm saying, 1 million views a month. Just probably to get a $500-600 check. So we're not going to be too much dependent on YouTube to help us financially. That's why we ask you all to make a donation. Again, right now, I'm not going to turn this into a fundraiser, but we are asking you all, please help us out right about now, man, by hitting the cash out, $, the Real News 3, or making a donation through PayPal. If nothing else, just help me get some food for these puppies. I ain't worried about myself. Just a bag of dog food for these puppies that'll last them another week, at least a week. I'll be grateful for that, man. Really, it would take about $15 to get them a big bag of dog food where they can be, because right now they haven't really eaten. They only ate they've been eating a half a meal for the last 2 days, you know, and right now they don't have nothing to eat. So it really, it's not about the channel right now. It's not about me, but it's about those little big puppies over there, you know, and they looking at dad like, you a failure. My puppy's looking at me like, you a fucking failure, Pop. And it's not that. It's just that, I mean, in this ice storm, there was nothing I could do. You know, I'm hoping now that it cleared up. Somebody might need some stuff hauled. Somebody might need something cleaned up. If you're in Freeport and you need any kind of work done, please give me a call, man. I'll be more than willing to work for my food, for my bread, for my sustenance. You know, it's humbling to have to get on here and ask, please help us just get some dog food. That shit is very humiliating. But right now, what else can I do? I'm not the only person I know now in this situation. There's thousands of people here in Freeport that don't have access to food, or who can't get to a grocery store. Even if they have the means to buy food, there's nothing on the shelves. And I'm hoping that by the time I raise a little money to get these puppies some food, that there is still some dog food on the shelves. Like I say, the other day when Miss Holly, and again I thank you, Miss Holly, I thank you, Miss Mary. Quite a couple of you all came through over the last week to help us out in this situation. I really thank you all for that. But when Miss Holly blessed us with that money, I'm talking about the only store that we could find open charged me almost $10, man, double, triple, really, what this bag of dog food was, and it was only like a 8 pound bag. I had to pay $10 for an 8 pound bag of dog food that only fed those dogs for one day. So it's bad all around, man. And again, I'm not gonna sit up here and have a pity party or cry about it. But again, if you are watching and you can make a donation, you living somewhere or you're in a financial situation where you can help us out, please just, I mean, anything. If we can get the 7 people watching right now to give $3 a piece, believe it or not, that can get the dogs food for enough for a week and maybe get me a meal. Things are going crazy around here, y'all. People, like I said, we had one person that we know of to freeze to death here in Freeport the other night. Again, you have still people like myself. I haven't had a shower in 5 days. I've been having to melt snow and ice just to wash myself up. I haven't shaven, barely can brush my teeth, and it's crazy. And on top of that, I got to come up with money to pay for this hotel room for another week or at least a day, pay for it by the day. So I'm in a desperate situation, but I remember somebody sent me an encouraging message. They were saying it's, it does them good basically to see me going through all the struggles that I'm going through and still try to keep and maintain this channel. We see somebody has made a donation. I can't check it out. I'll check it out, and I thank you. And really, I don't care if it's $2, man. I'm gonna bring tears to my eyes, because as a man, I've been a 50-year-old man. I've been used to providing for myself, maintaining, my home. And it's just like the last month, man, everything has been turned upside down against me. Whereas if you do believe in the devil, it would be easy to say the devil is working against me. Circumstances and situations happen. You just it's how you respond to them, and you have to be prepared. But it's hard, y'all, knowing that, no matter how hard I want to get out and work, there's no work for me. No matter how hungry I am, there's no means really for me to get out there and provide for myself. And then I'm dragging 3 puppies along, and they're suffering. These puppies are like my children, y'all. So really, I have to keep the real news, this channel going, because it gives me some kind of sanity. It gives me something to look forward to outside of myself. And it's humbling to have to get up here as a grown-ass man and ask people for help, I mean, but it is what it is. Now, let's get back to some other news articles, man. Let me get off myself, man. Again, if you all can, just make a small donation. If 20 of y'all can give $1, that's food for my puppies and a meal for myself. And I'll worry. I know the Creator, whoever He is, will not allow me to be homeless. I do believe in the scriptures, and I understand when David said, I've been young and I've been old, but never have I seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging for bread. And it seems like right now I'm having to beg for bread, but I learned that if you ask, it'll be given. Sometimes I have to swallow my pride, man, and humble myself and ask for help. And that's basically what I'm doing now. But anyway, I need you all to join me in this conversation. Let's make this conversation lively. Just me sitting here talking. Because again, I don't have internet access. I can't go down my stories like I normally would and highlight them and elaborate on them. So I'm basically right now depending on you all to tell me what you all want to talk about, and I can try to put some type of knowledge into it. Hold on a second. Let me see if this notification here is not going to let me do it. Okay. Oh, Miss Mary, thank you. Thank you, Miss Mary. You, I mean, you have done so much for me. I mean, it's crazy and it's hard. But I mean, it's got to the point where a couple of times I had to actually didn't know where to turn. My family and friends were unable to help me because again, I don't have. I mean, my mother, she's on a fixed income. My sister, she's pretty much desolate, and my brother, he's on a fixed income. I have nobody really to turn to. You know, that's why I get out here and work hard. And then again, like I told y'all in the last video, y'all excuse me for a second, how the dope game is steadily calling me. I got cats right now that out here in this crisis, time of crisis, they're making big money selling dope. And they remember how much money I used to make and how I used to hustle. I ain't bragging, but I was the #1 trap star around here, man. I was pimping, selling dope, cooking dope, transporting dope. I was so deep into the dope game, man, that I couldn't even see. I needed a shovel just to dig myself out. And now here we are. We have these guys that whenever they see me, like bald head, man, because they call me bald head in the street. Man, what's been happening, man? I said, man, shoot, little man, shit, you ain't trying to do nothing, man. I put you on. I'm like, man, let me borrow $50, man. You know what I'm saying? To such and such, bro. Man, I finish this job up, man. I get you back. Nah, man, I really ain't got it like that, but I tell you what, I can front you this package. But you mean to tell me you can front me $500 to $1,000 worth of dope to get out there and sell for you, but you can't let me borrow $50? You'd rather see me take a penitentiary chance and get locked up for life. Because again, one of the main reasons I refuse to touch drugs, sell drugs today, is because I only got one, I don't even have one more chance. I just got blessed to beat a life sentence, literally a life sentence for my third marijuana distribution felony. Literally beat a life sentence just no more than what, 6 years, 5 years ago. If I get caught trying to distribute any type of pharmaceutical or narcotic, I will go to jail for the rest of my life. You think that's worth it? I would rather walk these streets homeless. Me and these three puppies live in a tent in the middle of the woods before I get out here and sell any kind of dope, man. That shit is not finna happen. That's not even an option. But that shows the mentality of people in the streets, you know. And again, that's a whole other different story. I want to talk about something that you all really want to talk about. Anything on y'all mind that y'all want to talk about? I know it gotta be something that you all listen. I want to talk about. I don't want to just sit here, man, and ramble on, because again, I can't do this show like I normally would do it because I don't even have a USB cable. If I had a USB cable, I could hook this phone into it and shit. I could tether my phone. I could run my phone like the Wi-Fi. If my phone would be my internet. But I could something as simple as a $10 USB cable is fucking up this show. But the show must go on. So now we go back and talk about the stimulus package. Again, the House of Representatives is saying that they would like to have the stimulus package passed by this weekend in the House. If the House passes, it goes to the Senate. Now, this is the thing about it. The Senate can pass the Democrats in the Senate can pass the stimulus package without a Republican vote, because the Senate is split right now 50-50. But all you need is a certain amount of votes to pass it. And the Democrats have the numbers. But again, you got a lot of stuff in this package that the Republicans in the House are going to try to fight, namely that $15 an hour minimum wage. Joe Biden, if you're listening to this channel, which I highly doubt, if you're listening to it, give up the $15 an hour minimum wage real fast so that you can go ahead and get this package passed, this stimulus package passed in the House this week. And by the end of next week, people can start getting ready to receive that $1,400 check. It's really that simple. But you have bipartisan bickering, Democrats and Republicans arguing over little simple silly shit that's causing more misery for the American people. Literally, people such as myself who are depending. See, like right now, I'm finna try to go apply for food stamps and everything. Cause right now, they telling me I do qualify. That's humbling, but hell, I'm gonna humble myself. If I'm able to feed myself by getting food stamp, man, ain't no shame in my game. Shit, all the years that I worked and paid off into the system, if I can get this unemployment this week, you think I'm not gonna do it? Man, I would be a fool not to. When I done worked my life, I done worked damn near 35 years of my life, man, putting into a system. Now it's time for me to benefit from some of that work that I put in. And I still, man, right now, like I say, if anybody watching living in Shreveport right now, if you got limbs fell in your yard and you need somebody to come pick them up, hit your boy up. I have no shame in my game. I will get out there and do anything that I need to do. But right now, it's very limited as to what anybody in America can do. COVID has shut this country down to the point where 3/4 of your small businesses will never reopen again. Think about that. This is why you see them protesting so hard in a lot of these states and defying lockdown orders or basically defying all the COVID rules and regulations that's been put in place, because people are seeing their small businesses being shut down, literally, to never open again. You know, think about the small restaurants, you know what I'm saying, that you usually in your neighborhood that you love so much that you try to go to at least once or twice a month. You know, you try to support them. They got 5, 6 employees. They've been closed. Some of them been closed since March of last year, never to reopen again. We're living in strange and precarious times, people. We're living in a time right now where your corporations are benefiting greatly off the misery and suffering of the American people. Again, they're trying to find ways to force you to take a vaccine that's not guaranteed, that even the manufacturers of the vaccine are telling you, yeah, you're still likely to catch COVID, even if you get both of these shots. But go ahead and get both of these shots because we need that money, niggas. That's basically what the corporations are saying. And your politicians are complicit in the corruption of these corporations. It is your politicians who are hindering the stimulus, much needed stimulus for the American people. And at the same time, they can be so petty, the Democrats can be so petty that they would hold an impeachment proceeding to impeach someone who's no longer in the office of the president just out of spite. All that time, do y'all realize that whole time that they were doing that impeachment process, they could have been passed that stimulus package, and starting this week, you could have been receiving your $1,400 pay, your $1,400 stimulus check. Literally, that's just how simple it really was. So we're dealing with a corrupt government, but you have to realize, again, I said this in the last video, United States isn't a corporation, it's a corporation. Your president, your senators, and your congressmen, they're like the CEOs and, you know what I'm saying, other officers for this corporation known as America. Their job is not to look out for us, the individuals who are really supposed to be the stockholders of the corporation known as America, but their job is to make money for the corporations here in America. All the while, they steadily take your tax dollars and do what they want. They will take your tax dollars and give it to a corporation before they take your tax dollars and give you a bailout, a stimulus bill. How many bailouts have the American people gotten over the last 25 years? But your banks, your other major institutions, your insurance companies, all these people, all they have to do is tell the Congress, we need a bailout, and they would take your money, your tax money, and bail the corporations out overnight. And here we are begging them for a $1,400 check, when in most cases, soon as most of us get that $1,400, it's already gone. It's already gone in most cases. If I was to get that $1,400 right now, you know what happened? It'll be gone the next day, because I'd have to have rent and the first month's deposit, had the money to get my utilities turned on. That $1,400 would be gone already. Money that you've worked all your life to put into a system, we got to beg for it. But all the corporations have to do is just say, okay, we need 13 billion. And behind closed doors in secrecy, Congress will go and pass legislation overnight and build one of your major corporations out. Did y'all hear about the airplane the other day? They was flying from, I forget what it was going from. I think it was headed to Honolulu. The motherfucker broke up in midair pretty much. Parts of the engine, well, one of the engines shut down, the whole plane came loose. And then at the same time, they're telling you now that you probably have to have a certain kind of document to fly, showing that you had your COVID vaccination. See, y'all got to pay attention. They're sneakily, they're knowing that most of America are apprehensive about taking this vaccination. When they're really hiding the numbers, because the CDC came out the other day and released their findings on the side effects of the vaccination. But they're really hiding the numbers of people who've had adverse reactions to this vaccination. They're hiding those numbers, y'all. Over in Europe, the numbers are coming out a little bit more, but even Europe now has started to censor all the people who are having severe reaction to this vaccination. Yeah. And they're trying to find sneaky little sort of ways to force you to take this vaccination. Now, if anything in this stimulus package, they have to have language and legislation saying that an employee has the right to refuse this vaccination, and it will not affect his employment. That needs to be, that really needs to be one of the main issues in there. Because right now, if you're on a job and you feel unsafe going into that environment because they're not doing what they need to do in your mind to protect you from catching COVID-19, and this employer demands that you take this vaccination and you refuse that because you're afraid of the side effects, then you no longer have a job. You know what I'm saying? So they need to protect the employee, just like they have legislation already passed saying that if you go to your job and you contact COVID-19 as a result of your job, you cannot sue your employer. So there needs to be a balance in there. You should have the right to say, no, I don't feel that this vaccination is safe. You see what I'm saying? I'm not taking it, without having the fear of being fired. And this is what we're dealing with. Please, y'all, again, we can't see, we can see the numbers. Right now we're looking at 10 people in. If you 10 people that are here, please hit the like button. That'll help us get more. I'm gonna get ready to shut this video down, because again, I gotta find a way until I can get back online to do my stories. If I can find an old phone, I can pull it up, I can run my phone, my mobile Wi-Fi spot, and I can use it that way. But this to me, this show is not as interesting as it normally would be, and until we don't have the interaction that we need. And at the same time, it's 4 o'clock. With the donation that we just got, I need to try to go out here and get these puppies something to eat. and at the same time, I need to try to come up with at least enough to pay for one more night, because we good up until tomorrow around noontime. But after noon tomorrow, we're going to be stuck, and I'll be damned if I be out here homeless. So with that, man, I just really did this show, got a way to vent, let loose some of this depression and this sorrow that I'm feeling. I thank y'all for joining. Y'all give me a second. I tell you what, we're gonna post again. We're gonna come back live tonight. What time is it now? Family law gets food. We're gonna come back live at 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna write down my stories, and then we're gonna talk about strictly headlines at 6 o'clock. So y'all be prepared. You all that's watching right now, be prepared. We're gonna come back at 6 o'clock. I guarantee you this. But right now, we just got blessed with a donation. I don't see how much, but I really don't care. As long as it's enough to get these puppies something to eat and get me a sandwich or two, I'm grateful. Again, you all hit the like button, share the video. Please, if you're new and this is your first time watching, these videos are a lot more exciting normally, but today is it's a gloomy type day because of the situation that we're facing. It's a little bit better now that I can rest a little bit easier now. I know I can go get these puppies something to eat. So I'm going to do that, go get them something to eat, try to get myself a little something to eat, try to make a few arrangements to try to come up with something for us by living situation. But at 6 o'clock tonight, we're going to come back. Please, you all join us at 6 and have something on your mind or your heart that you want to talk about. So until y'all see us at 6 o'clock, man, please hit the like button, hit the share button. Make sure you subscribe. Also, hit that bell so that when we do go live at 6, you'll be notified. We're going to be doing all our videos now through StreamYard because there's a lot we could do. We could actually put guests. Let me see. How would we put guests in here? Oh, yeah, that's easy. So if you want to be a guest, well, yeah, that would be easy. If you want to be a guest on tonight's show and join me, send me an email. I'll go back in the description section and put our email down, and we'll figure out how you can join us on this show. We're gonna start being able to do. We're gonna take the show to another level, y'all. It's getting there. And again, we like to welcome the new 5 new subscribers that we have. This show is a lot more interesting. It's just right now we're going through some things, but the show still must go on. So until y'all hear us at 6 o'clock tonight, man, y'all be blessed. And again, when y'all join us at 6, please, if you have anything you want to talk about it. Also, please, if you like what we do here, please hit the Cash App, make a donation. Any size, it would truly be appreciated. Until y'all see us at 6 o'clock, it's your boy Rod Thomas Jr. saying, y'all be blessed.